is the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE, which has a dynamic AMOLED HDR10 Plus 120Hz display. At the bottom from left to right, you have a speaker grill and the Type-C charging port. And you also have those two little dots there, which I presume are microphones. On the right hand side of the device, you have the volume rocker and the on-off power button. The device has a 6.4-inch display. The front and back are made of Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and the sides are made of aluminum. Nice to see that Samsung did not dumb down on the build quality of the device. The device weighs 209 grams and it is pocket friendly. On the top of the device, from right to left, you have the microphone, followed by a SIM tray which houses 2 nano SIMs. So you can use one SIM for work and the other for personal. Or you can use one SIM for personal and one for traveling, which saves you carrying 2 phones or swapping SIMs. You can also use an eSIM with the device. And just to note, there is no expandable storage. Depending where you purchase the device will determine what chipset you will get. So for example, if you purchase the device in the USA, it will come with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, which can also be found in the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra. And that was released back in February 2022 and is no slouch. If you purchase the S23 FE in Europe, it is more than likely it will have the Exynos 2200 chipset. Now, whilst it may be inferior to the Snapdragon chipset, nevertheless, it still works very well. I know what you're thinking, 2 different chipsets for the same device. At the top of the device, you'll have to believe me when I tell you that there is a speaker that is embedded at the top here. And along with the bottom, it does produce really nice stereo sound. This is the purple color. They also come in mint, graphite, cream, plus indigo and tangerine, which are exclusive online colors that are sold on Samsung's website. If you're going to be rocking this device without a case, just be mindful if you lay it on a flat surface, there is definitely going to be an element of rocking. But if you have a case which covers the cameras like mine does here, and you lay it on a flat surface, there is minimal rocking whatsoever. One thing you will notice is that the regular Samsung Messages app icon has been replaced with the Google Messages app icon on the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. In terms of internal storage, the 256GB model comes with around 22GB of system storage, thus leaving you with around 233GB to play with. The device comes with 8GB of RAM, which should be ample even if you're multitasking. You also get a 4500 mAh battery, and it also comes with an optical under-display fingerprint sensor, which I have to say works really well. In terms of updates, you will get 4 years of software updates and 5 years of security patch updates, and that is from when the device was released back in late 2023. So you should get software updates all the way up to Android 17, which is generous at this price point. So if you purchase the device a year after release, then you will get 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security patch updates. The device does come with an IP68 dust and water resistant rating, meaning you can use it in the rain or you can have it submerged in water for up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. When it comes to call quality on the device, they are crisp, clear and sharp, and I've had no issues to report to date. One thing I really like with the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE is that you can run 2 apps side by side in split screen mode, making multitasking a joy. But what's always puzzled me is how the iPhones including the most expensive Pro Max, are not able to perform this function. One thing to note with the camera rings on this device is that they do collect a lot of dust particles. I did manage to find a stylus that you can use with the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. Yes, it is a generic one, but it does work, and I've made a video on it. And the beauty with the stylus is that it is inexpensive. The 120Hz refresh rate on the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE should not be taken lightly, because take the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. They have a starting price of $800 plus tax, and guess what? They only come with a 60Hz refresh rate. The device is certainly an all-day phone with medium to heavy use. Take my example. I use my device to watch a lot of YouTube videos, listen to music with wireless earbuds on, take and receive calls, shoot videos for the channel, watch content, etc. And by the end of each day, I have around 30% of battery life left on the device. The only thing I don't do is gaming. Maybe it's something I really need to look into, because I could be missing out. On the rear of the device, you do have a triple camera setup, starting with a 50 megapixel main camera, an 8 megapixel telephoto camera, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. On the front, you do have a 10 megapixel wide selfie camera. With the rear facing cameras, you do have the ability to shoot video at a maximum of 4K at 60 frames per second or 8K at 24 frames per second. If you have any doubts about the camera options on the S23 FE, just take a look at the options on the S24 Ultra on the right, and you can see you pretty much have the same on both devices, apart from the Expert RAW. On the front facing camera, you can shoot video up to a maximum of 4K at 60 frames per second. Did you know that we have reached a milestone? That is correct. We now have 700 subscribers, and with your help, let's get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, give that subscribe button below a nice little nudge. And remember, it is free. What more could you ask for? And a big thank you to those of you who have subscribed to the channel. Here's a footage using the front facing camera so you can judge the visual and audio quality. Yes, there is a slight breeze, but hopefully you'll be able to pick up my voice pretty well. So, glorious day here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And just behind me there is the Museu de Amanhã, which is the Museum of Tomorrow. And we're by the bay, and it's a beautiful and glorious day. It's probably about 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's take a look at some photos and videos taken with the device. And remember, none of them have been doctored in any shape or form. And whilst you do that, I should take a walk along Copacabana Beach behind me, and I should see you at the other end. One of the nice things about this device is that it has the always on display, meaning you can see the time, date and notification icons from a close distance without touching the device. Now, what I will say is that it would have been nice if those notification icons were in color, because then it makes it easier to identify the notifications quite easily. So for example, there are phone brands which are half the price of the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE, and their notifications are in color, and it just makes it much easier to read. I do get regular 4G and 5G connection. Now this will depend on a number of factors and it will differ for everyone. And also, when it comes to drop calls, not experienced any whatsoever. And when I do, that's as a result of a train going through a tunnel, which is not a result of the phone. Did you know there is the ability to have app notification icons appear on the lock screen of your device, making it easier to see from a distance? And I have covered this in a bite-sized video on my channel. The device comes with 25 watt wire charging, which should take you just over 1 hour to fully charge from 0 to 100%. In addition to that, you also get 15 watt wireless charging, and that one will take you slightly longer to fully charge. I've had this device since it was released back in October 2023, and up to the publication of this video, which is what, some 7 months later in May 2024, and I can tell you I've had no issues with the performance. And even in 90-degree heat, the S23 FE still works. Honestly, this device keeps on giving, because if that's not enough, you also get reverse wireless charging, meaning you can charge another device or wireless earbuds on the back of the Samsung Galaxy S23 FE. And that should not be sniffed at, because you'll see this feature on the Samsung Galaxy flagship Ultra models. Despite the front and the back of this device being made of Corning Gorilla Glass 5, it does hide fingerprints really well. After 7 months of using the S23 FE, the face unlock works really well, even at night. The only time that it struggles is maybe in complete darkness. In that case, just put in your PIN and you're good to go. You also have the secure folder where you can store photos, videos, files, apps, notes, etc. away from prying eyes. And all this is separate from what is in your main folder. When it comes to switching camera lenses on this device, Samsung have made things really simple, so you can switch from the 12 megapixel camera to the 50 megapixel camera with ease. By default, the camera is set on the 12 megapixel lens, and that is to save storage space. But as you can see, with the 12 megapixel camera, it does take some really beautiful photos. Samsung DeX allows you to cast whatever's on your device onto a television screen or a computer monitor, and you can use the device as a trackpad. Now, if that's not enough, whilst you're doing that, you can still use your device to do other things at the same time. Of course, the big standout with the S23 FE is the AI features, which is now available to use on the S23 FE and is free to use up until the 31st of December 2025. Now, what happens after that is unknown at this point in time. And also, not all of the AI features will appeal to everyone, but I believe there is something for everyone. Let's take a brief look at some of the AI features. You do have the popular circle to search feature, which is fast and accurate. And you can also use this feature on objects, famous faces, and written text. Chat translation is another useful AI feature where you can type in your native language and the recipient will receive your message in their language. This is very handy for messaging services like WhatsApp. So gone are the days when you would open the Google Translate app, type your message in your language, copy the translated language, and go and paste it into your message app of your choice, which can be tedious as you go back and forth. You can use the AI photo editor to straighten a photo like this, which is definitely not straight. To do that, really simple, just tap on there, straighten up the photo, let's see how it fills in the gaps, select generate.
Moments later.
Now look at that. That is superb. One cool thing you can definitely do on here, and that is change the lenses whilst you are filming. So let's put that to practice. So here we're filming, and you can see here it's currently on 1x zoom, and then if I go to the left, ultra wide, you can still filming. If I go to the 3x zoom, it is still filming. You don't have to stop and start. So which is really neat. Okay, so the point I want to make is that is possible when you are on HD at 30 frames per second, also at full HD at 30 frames per second. Look, you can see that you've got the three options there, and it's the same when I select Ultra HD at 30 frames per second. Now, when I go to full HD at 60 frames per second, now you can see you only have the 1x zoom, so you cannot flick through there. And then if I go to the Ultra HD at 60 frames per second, it's the same there. And if I select 8K at 24 frames per second, you can see it is still just at 1x zoom. So do keep that in mind. However, one thing I have noticed is that, say for example, you're filming at full HD at 60 frames per second. So let me demonstrate that for you. So here I start recording, and if you look, you have the 1x zoom there. So if I just sort of brush to the right, so again, you can see I'm still filming. Look at that, I can still enlarge like so. Pretty good as well. Okay. So if I just stop the filming there, and then if I go to Ultra HD at 60 frames per second, again, just in fact start recording, just tap ever so gently, and now you can see I'm still recording, as you can see at the top there, and I can sort of adjust things like so. Okay, so let's just take it back down, stop filming, and let's do the last one. So if we go to 8K, again, we have 1x zoom. I start recording, just brush something like so, and then I can take that, look at that, all the way up to maximum. I think it's 6x zoom. So again, just thought I'd point that out for you. One area where Samsung have definitely delivered on the S23 FE, and that is the pricing, because you get flagship specs for the price of a mid-range phone. Can't get better than that. Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this episode. My name is Shola. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another episode. Ciao.